Today we're going to demonstrate the use of KDOT's ControlCAD tools. They are delivered by our downloadable workspace and installed by that workspace. They will show up on your desktop as a shortcut to KDOT Submittal and a shortcut to KDOT Indexer. They will also show up in the program groups under the KDOT workspace as shortcuts to Submittal and Indexer also. These tools are used for consultants to deliver files into KDOT and for us to be able to verify those files and quickly put them into ProjectWise. And you will better understand that at the end of the demonstration. These tools made by Altiva, the makers of CAD Conform, and like I said, they're delivered to you for free by KDOT in our downloadable workspace. First, I'm going to start out by showing you what a data set with some errors in it will look like. I've got these data sets created, but first I'm going to show you what it looks like with some errors in it. So I'm going to open up Submittal. First thing Submittal is going to ask me for is a settings file. It should open right up to the folder with our settings files in it. And you're going to pick the KDOT consultant. Here's this kind of show you some of the things that are set in that file. You're going to OK through that. I'm going to take this set of files and drag and drop these in here, which is one of the ways that you can put files into ControlCAD. The other way is to hit on this plus button and browse to them and select them, and it'll put them in that way also. But as you can see in this file, all the red are problems. The yellows are sort of warnings. We'll just go over the reds at first. This is Submittal. It is what ultimately is going to create the zip file that you're going to send in. It's checking to see that things are included in the set. The first thing it's checking for is that all the files that are DGNs are certified through CAD Conform. So as you can see here, we've got several DGNs in here. There's several of them that say that the certification stamp is okay. There's nothing red there. They're just fine. There's a couple of them that say that there's a version mismatch, which just means the table that is slightly different from the one that's set in the settings file here, which normally is, as long as they're not too far off, is okay. It's not going to stop you from submitting anything. And the red one means there's a problem. It says this file has been modified and the certification is no longer valid. The other thing that it's going to look for is the XML files from the indexer in ControlCAD. The indexer is providing the attributes for our ProjectWise system. When you go through there, it'll create a set of XML files for each one of these files. And so it is out looking for that matching XML file to go with these files, and they aren't there. So it's marking them all with red as missing. The other thing that it's checking for is that if you have a design file that has reference files, it's going to expect that the reference files are part of this set and contained within this set. And if not, as you can see, there's two files here that are missing reference files. And it shows you here that their display is actually turned off. But these files are missing, and so we're getting red marks on those files. So that's what it looks like when things are missing and gone and not properly put together in a ControlCAD submittal. I'm going to cancel out of this. Let's go ahead and start to create the proper submittal. Let's start with the survey set. The first thing we need to do is provide the ProjectWise attributes for this file, and we do that using the KDOT indexer. So let's go ahead and invoke the indexer. The first dialog you're going to get here is if you just select the files that you want to process. There's a filter up here that you can select if you want to narrow down the types of files that you're looking for. I'm going to select it on all files so I can grab all the files. And it's opened up here to my survey set, which is what I wanted. Let's just do the survey set of files. I'm going to hit open. So they're now listed here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit process. It's going to pull up the main CAD control dialog. Now in this demonstration, I am actually working off an installed KDOT workspace. The important part of this dialog is here, as you can see here, here's the name of the file up top. It's important to pay attention to the name up here. As you can see, it starts out, it's got this main thing over here, and it's asking you whether you're with KDOT or this is a consultant project. So we're going to assume we're a consultant. I'm going to switch it to consultant. As you can see, it's starting to populate this down here, and it's put a check mark on there because I've completed everything on that on this window. And now if I go click this consultant one, which has an X in it because there's incomplete entries there, you can see it is moved down to be consultant window of this dialog. So it's asking for a KDOT project number. And as you can see, this is the format that it wants it in. It's route, county, the jurisdiction, the 4-digit project number, and the stage. So I'm going to say this is route 24, and it is actually checking for the correct format here. So as you can see, the window is highlighted in red, which means you have not met the formatting requirements for the entry of this dialog. Let me put in KA 20490-01, and as you can see, it's still red. I still haven't met the formatting. I missed the dash, and once I put it in there, it turns white. We're good. I've met the formatting. Right now, it is asking for the discipline. As you can see here, we still got a red X here, which means we haven't completed all the entries in this dialog that are required. Down here, you can kind of see a legend we've tried to put in here. I'm doing a survey file set, so I need to switch this over to survey. This just indicates plan set that you're working with. If you're working with the bridge sheets, it's bridge. If you're working with right-of-way data, it's right-of-way. If you're working with landscape sheets, it's landscape. And if you're working with traffic, there's the different traffic sets. And the things that are required sort of differ between which discipline you pick here. As you see now, I've completed all this, and now we've got a survey. The consultant has turned green now, and now we've got a survey showing up. It's asking here for a consultant name, who's the name of the consultant that's completing the survey work. And so I'm just going to put in HNTV. It's also asking you for a document category. We drop the list down. Right here we got a field book that's a PDF, so we're going to click on field notes. As you can see now, the field notes dialog has come down, or the field notes entry over here that needs to be filled out. It's asking for a description of the file, so I'm going to put in the project field notes. It's asking for the author's first name or last name. As you can see, these are not red. They're not required. If you know the information, you can put it in, but they're not required. And as you can see, now that I have this filled in, I've got all green over here, which means I'm ready to go on to the next file. I've done everything that's required. Now, the one thing I'm going to do before I move on to the next file is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on Retain Settings. And what Retain Settings is going to do is it's going to retain all this information as I move on to the next file. So if I don't have to change the project number again, and I won't have to change the consultant name. Now that I've clicked that, I'm going to go hit Save down here at the bottom of the dialog to move to the next file. So hit Save, and as you can see now, if you come to the top here, we are now on the input file. It's an alignment input file for Geopack, and because I clicked that on, everything is green here, but it's all not filled out correctly. It's still a consultant. That's still correct. That's still correct. It's not field notes anymore. But as you can see, by clicking on those retain settings, I've only got to go back and change what is different here. I'm going to look here. It's actually Geopack data. And now that I've selected a new one, a different category there, I'm getting the Geopack data window, and I'm going to select the Kogo alignment file. And it's asking for a description. So we'll just put here as a baseline, and everything's green over here, and we're good to go on to the next file. So we just save. Now we've got a DGN file. So I'm going to go back to survey, and I'm going to change this, and we're going to go to a MicroStation design file. This one happens to be a survey plat. So we're going to click on this, we're going to click on this, and click on survey plat. We'll just put in here as the plat file. We're all green over here again. Hit save. We'll move on to the next file. It's the 10 file. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to change this. It's more Geopack data. As you can see, this one actually doesn't exist in the list. So this actually allows you to type. We'll call it a Geopack 10 file. Call it a GTM file. We'll hit save. And now we're on to a DGN. So we'll go back to here. We'll put it back on MicroStation Design Files. Click on that. This one's a topography file. So we'll put this on topography file. We'll put it on topo file 2D. Let's save. It has now gone through the entire set. So we're back out to the main window here. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that out. Bring over the Explorer window here, and as you can see now, there is an XML file, corresponding XML file for all the files that we just processed. Within that XML file is the ProjectWise attribute data that we will use when this file gets put into ProjectWise. We'll automatically populate this data for us. Now that we have our XML files and our ProjectWise attributes specified through the indexer tool, I will tell you right now that these files have all been certified through CAD Conform previously to this, and their reference files are included and have been certified. So we're ready to go ahead and make a set to be sent in to KDOT. So we're going to invoke the KDOT Submittal tool. Once again, I'm going to click on the consultant set. I'm going to OK through that window, and we're going to go ahead and add the files through our alternate method here by using the plus folder here. So we've selected all the files along with the XML files, and as you can see, the files have all been populated inside of the Submittal tool. We've included the XML files in here, and as you go through here, there is no red, which means that everything is great. The reference files are all there. As you see, this one has a reference file, and it is included in here. It's finding all the XML files which we just created. It does a quick check in those to actually be sure that they're valid, and it also is showing that the two GGN files that are in here have been certified and that it read their stamp and everything is fine as far as that goes. So we've got a good set of files here to create a submittal set off of. Right now I'm just going to go create the archive. I'm just going to create a zip file. Call it KA204901 survey file submission, your name, HNTB, and a phone number. So hit OK. Here's the name of the zip file. It's going to be created in this folder. I went ahead and bounced it up one folder. I'm going to hit OK. It's creating the archive. You do not need WinZip on your computer for this archive to be created. At one time that was true, but now the zip tool has been built into the submittal itself. It's created the submittal, and we're going to go ahead and exit, which exits out of the submittal tool. The submittal zip archive can be opened back up into submittal. You do that by doing the File, Open Archive. Go to that file, select it. You'll see the Properties window that comes up here. It may give you a couple of messages here, but it'll open up. It's added a file here, but that's normal. If you needed to remove something here or modify this file set and then resave it again, you can certainly do that. Or if you just want to verify the contents, but you can load the archive back up into the Submittal archive.